What's good, everybody? I told you I was coming back with my AEW review. Let's keep it 100%, y'all. I tell y'all all the time, when it comes to AEW, I just want consistency. That's all I want. I'm not one of these people who just bash Tony Khan and say Tony Khan is a failure and AEW is going to die and all of this other bullshit. I genuinely want this company to thrive. I want AEW to be around for a very long time. I want the competition between them and the E to be great. I want the stories to be great. I want everything to be do well. I don't give a damn what company it is. Last week, I know I overhyped the show. I said I thought the show was better. I thought we actually got some good storytelling or whatever. This week, Tony Khan reverted right back to the bull job we had going as freaking All In. I asked myself this: what the clown is Hangman Page still beefing with the Death Riders? That ship has sailed a long time ago. We should be focusing on somebody different. I mean, last I checked, didn't Darby screw over that man? Moxley in the company last week. So you would think Moxley would be trying to get his hands on Darby. No, Darby is hanging out under the sea for Shark Week trying to skateboard under the water. That's just lame. I'm sorry. Who in their right mind is trying to skateboard underwater? That's just stupid. And I asked myself, Tony Khan, what the clown is you doing, man? What the heck is you doing? Dude, this ain't storytelling. This is just, I don't give a dang. People are going to watch the show regardless, and it's going to be great, and your flips and dives are going to be fantastic, and you're going to love it. No. I might be an AEW hardcore head, but I am not a shield for this company. Now, I might have been shielding out for All In, but I ain't shielding out this week. Now, hour 1, hot garbage. Hour 2, great. And we'll talk about it when I get there, but Tony, we got to get this thing consistent. I want to have a sit down with you, dog. I legit want to have a sit down with you. And I want to break your mind open and see what the heck you be thinking that's a good story, that you believe is a good story, that makes sense. And I need to really understand why you think what you're doing is great when we know dang well it's not. Like, we are tired of Hangman versus Mox. I don't want to see it ever again. This is it. Now, you're booking it, and if this is the main event, there's only one thing that needs to happen once that match goes down. MJF better be cashing in, and he better be walking out as the next AEW World Heavyweight Champion. If not, you have failed, and I'm saying it, you have completely already flopped. We ain't even got to Forbidden Door yet. I try my best to be polite, but I'm not. I'm not finna bite my mouth because TK want to quote unquote think everybody is wishing death to the company. No. I'm like, it don't make no sense how bipolar this show is. Hour 1, garbage. Hour 2, fantastic. It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm like, I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand. And for the hardcore AEW heads that think everything Tony Khan does is fantastic, you are snorting some of that same coke that he has. You need to get off of it. Because TK continues to, quote unquote, feed you all and think that you all are buying in. And no, when I do this, I am not telling Tony to book like WWE. First of all, WWE don't even know what they're doing because they too busy trying their best to make this war between TNA or whatever. Whatever. They too busy trying to cosplay as if they AEW. I'm like, no. Story over king. I'm sorry. Story is king in pro wrestling. I don't give a damn. Larger than life characters, like BC always says, and story. Those are the two things that matter. That is what keeps you invested. This is what makes people say, I can't wait to tune in to next week. Now, the fact that you booked that match and we got Mr. MJF. Now, I'm going to talk about this whole situation with Bobby Lashley because I'm like, what the heck was the point of putting that man with the Hurt Syndicate if they already ready to kick that man out? Because I'll try my best to explain it once we get there. But we open up the show. Hangman is coming to the ring and he runs into MJF, and MJF said, I'm going to cash in, but I'm going to actually beat you fair and square. And Hangman said, no, you're not. You're going to try to cheat and do some other stupid stuff. So The whole situation, I'm telling you, if this is the main event, this man needs to cash in. But the question you have to ask yourself, because the Hurt Syndicate doesn't want anything to do with him, how the clown is he going to cash in? Well, we'll talk about the so-called double turn that's possibly finna happen. So, opening match, Hangman beats the snot out of Wheeler Muter, busted them open, beat the brakes off of him. I didn't care. I was like, because I'm Hangman should have been done with these clowns. He should have been done. He should have been. It is no need for him to still be dealing with them. That was the whole point of the build-up going to freaking All In. Hangman should have moved on to somebody different. Now, I don't know who you could have fit up in there, but I just feel like Tony Khan is like, he don't know. He generally don't know. And that's what that is. It's just lazy booking. It's lazy. It's completely lazy, ladies and gentlemen. Lazy. So, Moxley cut some idiotic promo, some stupid stuff. I didn't care. Now, like I said, we got, out there. We got Stokely halfway and FTR. Stokely's on the crutch. And FTR's out there. They talking about what they're going to do to Cope. Adam Copeland comes out. And since he said, well, that's right, I can't get a foot in front of them. And if I do, I'm going to get suspended or get fired or whatever. But I made a business decision to talk to people who hurt people. That was MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. So I'm like, is Tony Khan turning to Hurt Syndicate face? I said, well, if you are going to take the tag team titles off of them and put them on FTR, FTR is the top heel tag team championship, top heel tag team in AEW right now. Okay, fine. Because I'm like, they a heel group. Why the heck would a face talk to a heel group getting help? It makes no sense. That's what I'm like, what are we doing? But a double turn is possibly finna happen. And I'll explain it when we get there. Like I said, because he been running off at the mouth saying, I. Bobby Lashley said, screw all this. So he choked him out and said, I want you out. So there it is. He's done. Now you have to ask yourself, how the clown is he going to get that title now? He has no help, right? Well, there's a possibility he might be getting the Pinnacle back together. And I'll explain. Remember him, FTR back in the day when they all was in that group with Chris Jericho and them? Now, Stokely Hathaway is there. MJF and Stokely Hathaway actually used to be tight. They used to be a pairing back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the new Pinnacle potentially might be MJF, Stokely Hathaway, and FTR with everything. So, remember when they said trusting MJF will cause you to lose everything? That's exactly what's going to happen. The tag team titles are going to be on the line. They're going to lose it thanks to MJF. MJF is going to get the AEW World Championship thanks to the Pinnacle. It's just setting itself up, which means FTR is going to hold on to the tag team titles all the way until freaking All Out. All Out is in the end of September. It's September the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be in Toronto, Canada. That's where both Christian and Adam Copeland is from. The story writes itself. So if that's what they're doing, okay, fine. But it better make sense. Tony, you got to make sense of this, because all of this is just looking stupid. If that what I said does not happen, this whole thing is just dumb. It was just a complete waste of time. So now we move on to hour 2. Hour 2, we got. Did the women go? Because I think this is all. I think this is all. It's all mixed up. I think the women came out for hour 2 first. If I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Because yeah. So what's the name? Athena went against Tony went against Athena's pupil, Billy, and she wasn't gonna win. But the whole thing with this was, you had Athena like the puppet master sitting up in the skybox, controlling everything, and she didn't win. But then Billy started to beat the brakes off of Tony, and then she told her to run out here so she could cash in. So she came in there, started beating the brakes off of her, and as she was finna try to cash in, the young lady who just got there, Miss Alex Windsor, came in, and apparently Miss Alex Windsor is the #1 contender for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So there's some story right there. I was cool with that. I didn't have a problem with that. Mark Briscoe cut a promo on MJF. MJF cut a promo on him, which was fantastic. And I said, Tony Khan, there's your first matchup for the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. If you don't want to book MJF and Mark Briscoe on Dynamite next week, which I think would make the most sense, since Tony Khan loves rematches, I will book it. Mark Briscoe get the dub, and then, matter of fact, that will open the show. I would literally have that open the show. I would literally have MJF and Mark Briscoe open the show. Mark Briscoe wins. So MJF is like, because remember, her syndicate is not with him anymore. Her syndicate is not with him. But at the end of the show, because of the stipulation that was made, and I'm going to get there when I get there, we'll talk about that when I get there. We had Swerve. Ospreay. Ospreay came out and said that he got some jacked up disc in his neck, and he's not sure if he's gonna be able to make it to a Forbidden Door, but he's gonna do everything in his power to try to get there. Swerve came out there, hugged him, gave him, lift his arm up, all that crazy stuff. I'm like, cool. So then after that, Hector, the guy that's working with Don Callis, they came out for the matchup. It was Swerve versus Hector, and as Swerve was gonna win, you already know they cheated. Lance Archer got in the ring. The other cat, they all basically, so Swerve won the match because of disqualification. Then that's when Okada came out of nowhere, started beating the brakes off of him. So Swerve was finna get his get back, but they all ran out. I said, boom, and Don Callis was out there running his mouth, talking a lot of bull jive and all this crap. I said, boom, we got some decent story. I say, hour 2 was better than hour 1, and I said it doesn't make sense. I'm like, Tony, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, you got the power to make both hours great, but you just choose not to, and I hate that. I really hate that because I'm like, it's a lot of things that I like from hour 2, and it was like maybe one thing or two that I like from hour 1, but it has to be consistent, and that's what we need. We don't need to be bashing Tony Khan every day because he want a bull job, but because he wants the bull job, we got every right to bash his behind. Like I said, I'm not finna sit up here and play favorites because I like AEW a little bit more than I like WWE. No. If Tony Khan is bull jobbing, yes, believe I'm going to check his behind. The same thing I do with Triple H. It's the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. What else? What else was on here that I actually like? So yeah, we got a promo, the Daughters of Sin with Tekla. They got their stuff going on. Willow, I guess she called up Tekla, so I guess next week we're gonna have that matchup. Cool, I ain't got a problem with that. Yeah, now this is what I would have done differently. Instead of them cutting a promo, I would have had them cut the promo, but Christian would have came out of nowhere and started beating the brakes off of her. Which, guess what? You got a matchup. You have a matchup set up for next week. Boom. It's not that difficult. Since Tony Khan loves to quote-unquote just make random matches, well, you got a matchup with story. If you want to have Christian go against this man next week, it would have been perfect. He would have came in there swinging the chair, chasing their behinds off. It would have been perfect. Instead of him just running off his mouth, saying the same thing he said last week, nah, I would have had him quote-unquote try to cut a promo, but Christian would have came out of nowhere and beat the brakes off of him. Boom. It ain't even that difficult. Chase these two bozos off, lay them out, it's done. There. And if you have a matchup, you got a matchup for next week. Now, more than likely, he's going over, but that's what you do. It's about getting us from one week to the next. It ain't even that difficult. Now, this was great. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony look clean together. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your next 3 trios champs. I don't give a damn what nobody has to say. These are your next 3 trios champs. Tony Khan, have these boys keep winning, have them keep winning, and then when it's time to pull the plug for them to face the ops, you know what I would do? I would do this. I would actually have Hook turn heel. So I would actually have Hook talk to both Shibata and talk to Will and say that he had a conversation with Samoa Joe that, because of everything, we kind of squashed our beef and he told me to take over for him. And all of this is just a lie because So he takes over. They have the matchup. Let's say they have the matchup against them. Hook turns and they lose the trios championships. It will be perfect. It ain't even that difficult. It's not that difficult to book them to win the trios championships. Now, where did they win the trios championships? I'm not sure. Maybe you do it at Forbidden Door. I don't know. But it's up to TK to continue to book these fools strong. Book them strong. Look at them. They look clean. I like the suits that they got on. They all match Ricochet. It's great. I'm cool. I'm on board with this. I thought this was great. I thought Tony Khan having them cut their promo, it was great. I have not one problem with this. That's what I say. It's just weird. It's so freaking weird. Oh, now the one problem I did have on hour one, this matchup was way too long. FTR versus Jet Speed was way too long. These matches like these should not be going 35 plus minutes. I'm sorry, it shouldn't. You don't need to be having flips and dives and grapples all day long. We need more story. The wrestling TV is for the story, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give a damn what nobody has to say. Yes, you're always going to have time for graps and flips and dives. You're always going to have time for that. But the story is how we get to the freaking flips and dives and graps. That's just how it is, ladies and gentlemen. So then, like, yeah, so, yeah, at the end of the show, we got Mox talking to Hangman, and he told him one final time, this is it. But everybody that's in the Death Riders is barred. The only three that's going to be in the ring is you, me, and the ref. That right there should tell you what's going to happen. The cash in should be happening with the Pinnacle reuniting, helping MJF. That's the only thing we need, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only thing we need. And then, heck, I would literally have a tag team match the following week because FTR are the number one contenders, ladies and gentlemen. They are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. They really are. This is when you have them drop the titles to, you have the Hurt Syndicate drop the titles to FTR because of MJF. It's not that different. It ain't. It's not that different, you know. And a lot of people still wonder where the heck is Mercedes. No, she's too busy going at it with WWE fans. Yeah, we do need an explanation. I need to hear from her. I don't know what. It's time. It is time for her to pull up. It's time for her to just say what's going on. Like you got your first loss. You had to. So that's it. I ain't got nothing else to say, y'all. Like I said, hour one garbage. Hour two great. It can't keep balancing out where we walk away and say, you know what, Dynamite was decent. I'm tired of that. I don't want just decent. I don't. I've had enough. I get enough of that watching WWE TV. I don't need just decent. I need greatness. I need greatness. I need to be on the edge of my seat week in, week out. Seriously. You know. But ladies and gentlemen, I ain't got nothing else to say. You know what to do. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Leave a comment, and we go from there. I'll holler at y'all cats later. It's your main man, KCPL, King Self Life Wrestling Takes. I'm out the door. Holler at your boy.